So now we are going to cut our flay right now. So this is what you have for the base. So I'm going to set the base aside, and I'm going to work with what we have on the calculations. Okay, so the first layer, now we are dividing this by this, and we are using 4 inches, and the length is 5 inches. So I come in with my flay. This is my fabric. I'll place my fabric on fold. Okay, and I'm going to place it on another fold. That is in cutting 360. I believe many of us here know how to cut a 360 degrees flay. Okay, so if you don't know how to cut a 360, you can check on this channel. We have a detailed video on how to cut 360, 720, 1080 degrees, 1440 degrees flay. So from this tip where I just folded, now I'm going to take the measurement of the first layer flay. So from here I'm using 4 inches. I'll keep placing my ruler at 4 inches. So exactly what I'm doing here, that is what you are going to do on your fabric. Okay, so this is the radius for the first layer at 4 inches, and the length is at 5 inches. So this is my length, 5 inches, 5 inches, 5 inches. Okay, so you can see how I'm placing to cut my flay. So I cut my flay up to this point. All right, people, so I'm going to cut my first layer like this, and I cut the width, the length like this. Okay, so I call this my first layer skirt. So by the time I open it up, I have my full 360 degrees, and I'll be cutting one of the points, and that is what we are going to use to attach. We are attaching this part on the base of the skirt. So I will quickly cut the second layer and the third layer using the same pattern and the same radius for second and third layer, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. All right, lovely people, so now I'm done cutting the third layer. I've cut the first, second and third layer, and this is the third layer I just cut with the radius we calculated. So right here I'm going to cut one of the centers to serve as the side, okay, or the center back. So I come in with the base of my skirt. This is the base of your skirt, which you have marked, and we'll start sewing from the last layer. So I'm sewing from the last layer now. So I will keep sewing, okay. So I'll quickly apply my adhesive and gum this to serve as the first layer attached. You can see the first layer flay has been attached, and I come in with my second layer flay. So this is my second layer flay, which I cut with the radius we calculated, and I'm going to also stick this to the second layer flay. Okay, so you are just going to sew. Okay, you are going to sew, and in sewing this, make sure you have serged or weaved the layers, okay, before you sew, because you are just practically going to sew like this. Okay, you are going to run your gathers, your stitches like this, just as I'm placing it on paper right here. That is how you are going to have your stitches. So I just applied my adhesive for demonstration purpose. Okay, okay, and I have my second layer. Okay, so if you look at the difference, you can see it's actually covering the flay very well. Okay, the flay is actually being covered very well. Okay, so I'm trimming out the excess I have. So this is the third layer flay, this is the second layer flay. You can see the distance, and it's actually covering very much. So I come in with the last layer, which is the first layer. Okay, so this is my first layer, and I'm going to sew my first layer on this. I'm sewing the first layer right on the waistline after the 0.5 inch allowance. Okay, so alright, that is that, and we are done. Okay, we are done with our skirt right now. So all you are going to do after you have sewn it the way it is, you can see how the skirt looks like. It's actually looking very beautiful. So once we are done, I'm going to turn it around to the back. This is the center back where we have the zipper. Okay, so I will start sewing now, leaving the zipper allowance. So all you are going to do is to, let me trim off this part so you understand what I'm trying to explain right now. Okay, so all your flay has to align with the zipper allowance. Okay, so now we have our zipper allowance. You merge it, you can see my zipper allowance. You are going to leave it for your zip, and it's always at 8 inches. So from here to here is your zip, and the zip is always 8 inches from the waist. Okay, you can make it 8.5 because of the ½ inch. Then you go over to your machine, merge this together and sew to the end. Some people also sew differently. Okay, what I mean is pick up the flake and sew. Okay, put it in and bring up your base and sew. Okay, that is if you want to have your stitches or your flay sewn differently. This is what the 3-layered flay looks like on the dress form. So you can see it's actually looking nice and beautiful. Okay, so all you need to do is to add your zipper and sew your zip line, that is the center back, together and attach your band. Okay, alright people, so this is how we come to the end of this tutorial. If you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, and drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming, and see you in the next video. Bye.